So I read an article this last week, actually a couple weeks ago, that I thought was, when I looked at the title, I thought, this is going against the grain of what I had always told individuals in terms of the value of waiting on Social Security. So I thought, I want to read this article, and I thought, hey, it would be a good idea in this particular blog to go through the article and kind of bring out what I think the author here is saying, and also maybe what one of the takeaways, at least for me, was when looking at the article. So the article is really kind of talking about the catch phrase, or the line that I kind of cued into in order to read the article, was that individuals should actually wait, or the traditional wisdom of waiting to take Social Security might be wrong. So I thought, well, maybe there's something that I don't know about. So opened the article, read the article. I think it's a really good article. It's written by an individual, CFP, by the name of Scott Hansen. So I think if I were to do some takeaway for the people who are watching, just kind of want a short, pithy, what's going on here, I think he brings up a good point in that if you are relying on Social Security for a good portion of your overall retirement plan, that makes up a good piece of the income that you're relying on, waiting still makes sense. But in what cases can we justify taking it early? And what he brings up, and I think it's a valid point, is that if you are not relying on Social Security, in other words, it is kind of extra, you're covered through everything else. You're covered through a big healthy pension. You're covered through X, Y, or Z. Then if Social Security is just kind of an additional source of income, there's kind of a nice to have income, if you're looking at the age in which to take it, history being the guide, you might want to take it early. For example, age 62 rather than waiting. And why does the author talk about taking it earlier? Well, he talks about historical changes to the Social Security system and who they impact the most. So the most recent big historical change would be the taxation of Social Security. And when you look at the taxation of Social Security and who really was impacted or has been impacted by the taxation of Social Security, it's higher income earners. It's wealthier individuals who have more income and who have higher amounts subject to taxation. And so what the author is kind of saying is, all things being equal, if you don't need Social Security at all, and if you look at the solvency of the Social Security system and where they might, quote, attack, who they might, quote, take these benefits from, it's wise to consider that they're probably not going to take benefits from those who rely heavily on Social Security. They're probably going to craft it in a way that maybe means tests, or at least maybe reduces benefits for people who don't need them. So I think the takeaway that I'm getting from the article is, if you don't need the Social Security benefits and you're trying to determine at what age to take them, maybe taking them sooner rather than later can make sense, because down the road it is possible that Social Security reform may adjust the benefits and reduce benefits for those who don't rely upon Social Security, or who don't need Social Security, or whose incomes are higher. So it got me thinking, in that I usually told individuals, regardless, it usually makes sense to wait, because if changes come, if reform comes in regard to Social Security, would you rather have a reduction on a smaller benefit or a reduction on a larger benefit? Was the way that I kind of thought about it, or my thinking was. When in actuality, based on history, reductions to benefits may not be equal or across the board in terms of all individuals with all different types or amounts of benefits. It may be unequal. In other words, a reduction in benefits more for people who don't need Social Security or have higher incomes. So I took that. My takeaway really is, hey, maybe it does make sense to take it earlier if you don't need it, if you're covered with all of your other retirement income sources, and you have a fear or are concerned that future legislation is going to skew a reduction in benefits to individuals who have higher income. So, good article. I think it's worth the read, and it gave me a new perspective, and I appreciate that.